There's a ton of mistakes that we as chicken keepers make, but most of the time they can easily be corrected. But I'm going to show you the most obvious mistakes and how to correct them easily. So stay around, and 20 likes for part 2. So the first one I'm going to be talking about today is rationing out water during a major drought. So sure, if there's like, I don't know, like a yellow and an orange on the map, those are like abnormally dry and moderate drought. Those aren't terrible, but you don't want them either. But if you notice something like severe, extreme, and exceptional drought, you know, like the really dark orange, the reds, yeah, you don't want those. And if you notice those on your drought monitor map, then that's a red flag. I will show you the drought monitor map I use, but there is a red flag that you'll come across. So, what I'd highly recommend doing is checking your well's depth. And then, instead of rationing the water, which will potentially lead to death from your chicken because of dehydration, you want to do the exact opposite and make sure that they have plenty of water during a drought. Number 2, not taking some form of action on broody chickens. At first, it might seem that your chicken is dying and you need to do something about them now. But if you notice a chicken in the box for longer than, I don't know, like 8 or 9 hours at a time, then your chicken is either A, egg-bound, or B, she is broody. Most likely, she's broody. If she's egg-bound, I'm going to make a video tomorrow on it. Screw it, that's going to be my next video. Anyways, if you notice something like that, like, you know, like your chicken is just sitting on a bunch of eggs for a prolonged period of time, kick her out of the box. You know, it's not that hard. We have a broody chicken out there named Loudmouth who is brand new to the broody habits. We're going to be breeding some chickens in a few weeks. So stay tuned for growing them. Anyways, yeah, we're going to be doing that, and sometimes when you're first starting out, you don't want to breed chickens. Oh my god, how hard is it? But when you're starting out, you don't understand what's actually going on. You're like, oh my god, my chicken's dying, what do I need to do? She's broody. Simply just take her out of the box, but if that ain't working, take her on a long drive or a long walk. By that, I mean like an hour-long walk or like a 45-minute drive or just a trip to the gas station in general with your chicken in the car. However, make sure the AC is pumping if it's hot out and the heat is pumping if it's cold out. Another mistake we as chicken keepers often make is sometimes if you free-range your chickens, you might lose some chickens, but if you pasture them, you'll also bound to lose a few chickens. However, there is a mistake that people make within this category, and that is, well, not learning from your lesson after you get an attack. So if, say, like a fox comes and takes 4 of your chickens, it's not necessarily a mass attack, but it is a partial attack. And those attacks, they aren't really good. You don't want either of them, and if you do get any of them, you need to learn from what you did wrong. That's why I'd highly recommend a trail camera to put out in your chicken yard. So that way, if it did get in and take chickens, you can detect how it got in, and look at the area that it got in, examine it, and you might also want to keep your chickens in their coop for, I don't know, like 2 or 3 more days. So if you have an automatic coop door, power that off. If you have a normal door, just don't open them up. It's not that hard. You might also want to throw them in some water and some treats, though, because you don't want to dehydrate your chickens to death. But still, you really want to be careful about attacks. And, well, once you have an attack, if you're free-ranging them, this is when I'd recommend switching over to pasturing chickens. Another common mistake that we as chicken keepers make is leaving the food out in the rain. I mean, this is kind of obvious, but, like, sometimes we leave our food out in the rain. I mean, if, like, it's about to thunderstorm, like, sure, I can't blame you, but, like, if it's raining and you leave a bunch of food in their thing for the next day, don't do it. It's not that hard. So if you do, anyways, you really need some help if you do this, so here's what to do.
Stop it. Get some help.
So, what you need to do is you need to not do it. Because if they do, it'll get moldy and there could contain diseases. And that could end up leading to a bumblefoot infection, which is unfortunately what Sprinkles currently has and won't survive with. Just remember, I think the survival rate is something like 70%, I believe it's like 73-74% survival rate from bumblefoot with the treatment and veterinary attention. But if there isn't, the survival rate is really low. Because eventually she'll be in so much pain that she won't eat, and it's her own food's fault. So, just remember, you should always be on the lookout for rainstorms, and just remember, go the extra step and take it inside. One last chicken keeper's mistake that is so common, and there is basically no way to do this. It's basically an epidemic of this mistake. And what I'm talking about is putting personalization over security. basically what you need to do is you need to be able to make sure your coop is properly secured so that way nothing can get in at night. Because believe it or not, daytime attacks are more numerous, yet nighttime attacks are more deadly. The chance of your chicken surviving from an injury like that, I believe, is like 15-20%. They're probably going to die right on the spot. But remember, if a chicken survives that, they still can survive. I think the survival rate is like 80-90%. But still, when you really want something like this, you really want to make sure that like your chicken coop is secured properly and everything there is within its range. Constantly be on the lookout for things you can do to properly secure your coop. If you notice an exploit in the coop system, fix it. If you notice like there's a crack that could expose it to much more cold weather in the winter and could expose it to a black bear's paws, if you know what I mean. Like we have black bears, but you might have grizzly bears or no bears at all. They'll just destroy the chicken coop for the hell of it. But like they'll get right into your chicken coop. Big mistake. Don't do that. No. So always make sure that security, so that way nothing can get in. But you should also put a personalization factor into it. That was about it. If you did enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and see you in tomorrow's video.